Hello, my name is Renika Smiley, and I want to introduce you into today's event when I speak as a panelist for the I Love Meat conference. Today, I'll be transparent about my journey and some of the things that's happening in my life at the moment and how I overcame those things. And I'll also be talking about some sensitive matters with my family and growing and staying spiritual and staying with the Lord and hearing His word even with this difficult time, which I hope my story helps someone else out with their difficult time in life, and they can hear my difficult time in this transparent moment while it's happening, and maybe it can give you some type of peace as well. Thank you, and I hope today you enjoy the panel. I want to thank Dr. Angie for allowing me to be a part of this event. I lost my aunt 3 days ago. She died at home. She was battling lupus and sarcoidosis for years now, and so the sarcoidosis, it got through all of her body, her eyes, everything. So it was just something she was battling for a long time, in and out of the hospital. Some people know that my mother passed 11 months ago. My aunt that just passed, that's her older sister. In the last 2-3 years, we had about 7 family deaths, 5 of those being elders. So my grandmother lost 5 of her children in the last 2 to 3 years. So it's been a long time, and rough time, I should say. And so I almost was just gonna cancel. I was gonna contact Angie and just call her and just tell her like I'm not gonna do Saturday. But I ended up thinking to myself, and I was like, you know what, I am gonna be here for Saturday, because right now somebody needs this message in this transparency in the moment when I'm feeling these feelings right now at this very moment. And so I called my makeup artist. I hired Big Bay's future husband. They get married in the next month or two. And so
85 days.
85 days. Okay, 85 days. And so I was like, I'm gonna make sure to record the content of the message right now in the most hardest week, one of the most hardest weeks in my life. We just lost our family house too, something that my mom fought so hard for, but it's just different when people die. There's always that person in the family that sees greed, that sees money, that sees opportunity, and takes it. And it's really hard, and still I rise and pray for forgiveness, and I pray for strength from God above, because that's who we get our love from, is the God. And I know that there's a bigger plan, even when you want to think negative about things. So this is my first day out of the bed since Tuesday, so I'm just happy to be here right now.
Can I do something real quick? God is good. I don't know what to say.
You want me to introduce myself?
Okay.
You want me to introduce myself?
Well, I can call your whole name and everything, but yes, ma'am, please do.
Okay. So hello. Okay, you can hear me. My name is Renika Smiley. I'm 34 years old. I'm an entrepreneur. I also work in human resource. I work at First Student as the talent acquisition specialist, and I also manage a non-for-profit part-time, which is Generation Now. We're funded by United Way and Greater Cincinnati Foundation. We're a United Way partner organization. So our mission is to provide world-class networking, mentorship, and career training to all young professionals. And so we've been around for about 8 years now. And so a couple of years ago, I was like, I want to do something else. Not that I want to stop managing my non-for-profit, but I wanted to do something else. I seen that there was a need in the plus size community, me being a plus size woman. It's hard to find clothes for our size that's fashion forward and affordable. So I wanted to actually fill the gap of that problem by starting a plus size boutique for women, so we can we can continue to build our self-confidence in ourselves, and that comes with clothing and fashion, because when you look good, you feel good about yourself.
Right.
And so I graduated from the University of Cincinnati. It's me and my brother, and then I have other siblings that my father had, and so we're all close. I come from a real big family, two big sides of the family, and so even though I have lost a lot of intermediate elders in my intermediate family, still come from a really huge family. And so that's a little bit about me. I like traveling. I was just in New York Fashion Week. We had a lot of fun. We got a billboard on Times Square. I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, but I like eating. If that makes sense. I like eating food. And I just like socializing and hanging out with family, and I love brunch on Sundays. And so that's a little bit about me, so y'all can know who I am outside of me just coming in and just telling how my week went.
Lovely. Wow. Thank you, Renika. Look, when I say her stuff was on fire in the fashion show this past spring, baby, I was just mad I had to work and couldn't be. But anyway, how old were you when you felt love? And when did your relationship with love begin for you? So basically, it's the same. So how old were you? But when you felt love, but when did that relationship with love begin for you?
Yes, and so I felt love always. I felt love from my parents. I felt very loved by my parents. Just the wholesome, the caring. My mother, she worked in the community. She also worked at Procter & Gamble. My father, he was the Little League coaches, and now that I'm grown, I hear about all the stuff with Little League coaches. I wasn't thinking my dad was doing stuff like this, some of the stuff that I hear now. But he also worked at the cleaner, so he pressed clothes. And so, but he took care of all his kids, and he was a good dad. He was a present father. So just them caring for me and my brother, and making us a priority, and how we were going to grow up, and our outcomes in life was such a priority to them that it made me feel love. And you said, what does love look like?
Well, when did your relationship with love, and I'm going to say your love for yourself, when did that begin for you?
I believe the relationship with love for myself began honestly when I was about 24, 25 years old. Because there's a difference where there's companionship love, and there's love from your parents, and then there's actually love for yourself when you realize that it is your responsibility to love yourself. I came to the point at 24 years old where I realized that the things that I was doing wasn't so loving to myself, and I'm putting everybody before me, and I'm putting myself last. And so I needed to change that. And so I remember at 24 years old, I went through a very evolving stage in my life where I was dating a guy, and I needed to leave him alone because he had a baby daddy, and now it makes sense to me. I don't have any kids. Why am I with somebody's baby daddy? I don't have to go through that type of drama if I have no attachments with that person. But I felt like that person was a companion to me, and he was giving me love, and that it was worth fighting for a relationship that wasn't actually the definition of what love's supposed to be, because love and companionship is finding your peace, not finding your drama, not finding somebody that's a headache, and you got to deal with a whole bunch of baggage. And so I went through that stage, and I went through a career phase. My first entrepreneur journey was in nightlife club promotion. I scaled my first business to 6 figures at 21 years old. And I was in school. I was at the University of Cincinnati. I was finishing my undergraduate, and I didn't know if I knew for sure I didn't want to be a nightlife club promoter forever. And then the business was just changing. Back then at that time, I'm 34, but about 10 years ago, Cincinnati was like still like a nightclub city, but now Cincinnati isn't so much a nightclub city, it's more of a bar and grill city, and a pub and a lounge. And that changes the dynamics of the nightlife field where you're not making money. And it's different when you're running a business and you're managing a business and you're making money and you have people depending on getting paid salaries or depending on what you're giving them to pay their bills versus just doing something for fun and it's really no responsibility in it. And for me, my dynamic was, unfortunately for me, I was 21 years old, running a nightlife business, living in a luxury apartment in Fieldstone and driving a Chrysler 300. If I knew what I knew then, I would have just been a regular college student. I would have been living like a regular college student, but I didn't think that the money was gonna run out. But unfortunately, businesses changes, and when business change, some businesses you have to get out of. And then it wasn't my passion anymore, so it was changing. So I remember I was in a really transitional period in my life, and I needed to learn how to love myself, put myself first, let this guy go, let all that craziness go. You don't have time for people leaving notes on your cars and stuff. So you gotta let all that go. And I cut my hair off. I used to have short hair, now I got locks, but I cut my hair all off. I think that's what women, we always do, we want to cut our hair off. I cut my hair off, and I got in the gym, and I got in shape, and I just was finding myself, and I'm at that period again with losing my mom and losing so many family members where these people are responsible for filling your love tank, and now those people are gone. And I know new people will come to add to that love tank, because I understand with being a woman, a spirit, that when it seems like sometimes God is subtracting, but he's actually adding.
Yeah, that's right.
And I understand that that's what's happening, and it's the patience and it's the hurting and the pain that you have to take. But I feel like this moment in my life is the moment where I had to love myself unconditionally, and I had to learn that I had to love myself much, much more than I thought I ever loved myself before, with losing my mom, and I lost my father when I was 15 years old, so now I'm parentless. And so this year has been about finding myself and rediscovering who I am and loving myself. I still get those moments when I get lonely and I'm like, dang, where my cuddle buddy at? And I was kind of really salty because I came from New York and I was on a high, I was on Times Square, and whenever I come back home, me being a single woman, I got like a little roster of guy friends, and when I come back, I'm like, I don't know why I'm talking to him, I just cut them off. And then my cuddle buddy, I cut him off, and then my aunt died next day. I'm like, damn, now I gotta call him back. But I did call him back. I just sat in the room and went to sleep. But it made me like that moment where I was like, damn, now I want somebody to cuddle with. I had to really love myself. Like, I gotta just sit here and hold myself to sleep. And so, but that's right now, again, is learning that unconditional love for myself. I think that it's a journey that never ends for yourself.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, you can find me. I have a Facebook like page, which is Renika J. Smiley. And so it's spelled the same way, just Renika J. Smiley. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Renika J. Smiley.